All right, music fans, welcome back. It's Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for real people, just like you right there, and just like me here. Eric Clapton says he won't play for what he calls discriminated audiences in the UK. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to put a group of people over here who've done one thing with their life and put another group of people over here who've done the thing that everybody is telling you to do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or an end to the planet will occur. That's basically the message you're getting 24 hours a day. Now, I know a lot of people just want me to say, okay, Eric Clapton, he's playing a concert, blah, blah, blah. Here's where you buy your tickets, right? I like Eric Clapton. Let's break down his music, which I'd rather do. I would rather do videos like those. The problem is the world is on fire, and a lot of people who got involved with, hey, I'm going to talk about this situation comedy and how much I loved it back in the 1970s. Those, I don't know how you can add what I'm doing to something like that. So if you're in a nice, safe lane like that here on this platform or anywhere for that matter, that's great. But I read this story and I go, and they put discriminated in quotes, and I go, okay, well, it is a thing. I mean, he's probably thinking to himself, well, that's not fair. And then everybody, I can hear them coming back to me saying, well, he's being irresponsible. Everybody who's not doing the thing is being grossly irresponsible. And we've flipped what we used to know about the floating particle. When I was a kid, you know, your lollipop would fall on the ground and pick it up. Pediatrician would tell my mother, you know, it's okay. You know, he's got to build up his immunity. That's what and I don't know how we flipped that on its head, but we flipped it on its head. Okay. And Clapton, who had a really bad reaction. It's funny how the media didn't really go out of their way. They didn't knock each other over to interview Clapton after all this occurred, because they're all walking in lockstep with one another. I know there was a video, a friend of mine shared it. It's not easy to find, and it's not on YouTube. It's not on any major platform. It's an independent company that did the video, and they've been doing videos like these since last spring, probably, because they were trying to alert people that there might be another side. Okay. And again, the criticism that was leveled against me was, well, you're not presenting the other side. And my response again is, the other side, all you have to do is click and find a channel that is owned by maybe 3 or 4 corporations that own them here in the United States, and watch that channel long enough, and you will see that perspective all day long. I watch a newscast in the morning where it's 5 to 10 minutes solid of this one information narrative. Now, a lot of people walk through life and say things like, well, if this wasn't true, why would they tell me this? You gotta break free from that. If this isn't true, why would they tell me this? Because this is why, and I'm going to be blunt here. I don't think a lot of these people have your best interests at heart. Okay? I think it's all about money. I think you have to look and see who actually is advertising on that channel during a newscast. And I think you're going to find that there are a lot of pharmaceutical companies. In fact, you can't go on at nighttime and watch a primetime television program without seeing an ad for some new drug that is supposed to help you and has 5,000 side effects. And they'll tell you, they'll read the side effects off, and you'll be like, huh, But then at the end, they're like, so go ahead and try Ozempic or whatever it is. By the way, the Ozempic commercial, they ruin a really good song. Just spoiler alert. It's the song Magic by Pilot, and they ruin it. So went off on a big tangent here. Sometimes I do that. So when it comes to Eric Clapton, you would think one of the greatest guitar players of all time, speaks about something, and there would be kind of a balanced look at what he's saying. By the way, Clapton in the movie basically said that he didn't want to get involved with this. He really didn't want to get like in the midst of the political angle of this, because he knew this would destroy him, because he knew it was destroying other people who were also speaking out about this. And I find that reprehensible, but this is what's going on right now. And a lot of people are just kind of whistling past the graveyard. They don't see this as a problem. They want you to get on board so they can go back to normal, so they can have their life. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if this is working for you, right, and you did this, why are you so concerned about me if I decide not to do what you're doing? Because remember, you're protected. You're protected. You're fine. If this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, why are you so worried about what other people are doing? Finally, I would say this. Your medical business is your business. All right? It's completely your business. And nobody has a right to get involved with your medical issues. Case closed. All right? You have a right to privacy. But we're seeing that, just get this app, scan this QR code or whatever. I mean, it's a lot of technology that, quite honestly, is above my pay grade at this stage, but they want to make it so easy for you, right? That scares me. I'm sorry. And it also scares me that a guy like Eric Clapton isn't going to be heralded the way he once was, because he's taken the wrong view on this. He's taken the wrong approach, not in my eyes, but in everybody else's eyes, or a good majority of the people. Now, there are a bunch of people who are out there rebelling and going against all this stuff, but the information isn't being presented like, okay, here's a protest over here. I mean, they cover it as if all the people there are crazy. And I think the people there are just trying to fight for their rights and their freedom, just like people who didn't want to go to war in the 1960s. They didn't want to go. They didn't think that the government should select them and say, okay, you have to go to war, and guess what? You might not come home. So you, at that point, you have no control over your life. Now, there are a lot of people that wanted to fight for their country, and they did so, and they paid the ultimate price. But that's different from a draft, which forces people away from their pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I believe in those things. Liberty, freedom. I can do what I want. Body autonomy. Eric Clapton says, I didn't think I was ever going to play guitar again. And the media is just like, oh. All right, Bob. Up next, we've got a great story about a new vaccination center that just opened up down the street. Great. Fantastic. Amazing. See, I don't know what world you're living in. I'm living in the real world, and I talk to people, and there are a lot of people who think like I do on this. And if you want fair and balanced, right? Used to be what Fox News used to say, we're fair and balanced, right? If you want fair and balanced, then you have to find a lot of alternative sources that will balance out what you're seeing 24 hours a day on what I consider to be the mainstream news. Okay? So that's my video. Eric Clapton does not want to play for a discriminated audience, which means he won't do a concert. And for a short period of time, he was thinking about just moving out of the UK. The problem, Eric, is where do you go? That's the big problem. I'm not sure you can go anywhere right now. Maybe Antarctica. I mean, I just don't know.